Good afternoon. I'm Maria Madrid. I'm currently enrolled in the EDGR 535 Theories of Teaching and Learning, and so I ask that you please bear with me. This is the first time that I'm doing a video for a course, and so just have patience with me. This video is in regards to the discussion of the importance of understanding the children's learning styles. And so I have 19 years of experience working with the preschool children. And out of those 19 years, 12 years I worked as an education coordinator assistant, and at times it was my responsibility to provide staff development for the teaching staff. One of the topics that I would discuss is um, understanding and identifying the children's learning styles. And so, because of that program that was federally funded, we needed to develop a screener for the identification of the children's learning style. And so, we did use a form that was the Dominant Learning and Temperament Screening Screeners form, and so this form was used at the time of enrollment when the children first started with our program, and it needed to be completed within the first 45 days of enrollment. And so we did follow DAP for that program, and so we were able to identify the children's learning style based on receiving the information from our parents and also through the teachers conducting their observations. And so, what are the learning styles in children? So, we are able to identify three dominant learning styles. And so, we know that we have the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic. At times, kinesthetic is identified as tactile. And so, what is the difference between the kinesthetic and the visual and auditory? Well, we have to identify the way the children learn. And so, children who are very children that are engaged in reading, we know that they are organized, that they notice details, and that at this time they would be considered visual learners. Those that are always very strong in speaking in their language, that they're musically talented and easily pick up new languages, we know that they are the auditory learners. And those other children that enjoy body movement, physical activity, we know that they will be the kinesthetic learners since they drawn their interest in movement and handling objects. Even now, in my present job as a director of a child care center, we still incorporate the children's learning styles. And to me, it has been one of the important aspects as instruction and modification of the children's learning. And so, in my discussion, I am a true believer that this is how the children learn, and that us as educators have this responsibility in assuring that we provide the right instruction to the children, especially because they are, we have them in the especially because when they are enrolled with us in the preschool program, those are the fundamental years to develop their knowledge. And so they are like little sponges, and so they pick up on everything. And so it is our responsibility as an educator to make sure that we are meeting their needs. However, to my surprise, after reading the one of the assignments through the British Psychological Society Research Digest by Christian Jarrett, where it states that the idea that we learn better when we're taught via our preferred modalities. In this case, our visual, oral, or auditory learning styles, that there is not specific details to prove that that is correct. And so to me, after reading this post, I did feel a little bit of disappointment because my justification to the what I have always practiced, and it is that the children learn best through their modalities, their dominant modality. Um, I feel that this article was mainly contributed to adults, and so um, as in the article, it continued to mention that there was another research done at the Indiana University School of Medicine, and so it was conducted to 100 grads, and so it did show that there was no specific detail in regards to the person's learning best through their learning styles. And so as I continued reading, I knew that, and so after the study was conducted from those undergrads, of course, again, the findings were that they were not um, specific. They were not specific, and the findings, they did not support the evidence. However, since I still work with preschool children, I will continue asking my staff to identify the children's learning styles. I feel that with the age group that I service, that if I'm able to identify their learning styles, it's a little bit more meaningful for them, and so that the instruction that is provided at their developmental level and appropriate to their age group has to involve their dominant modality. Thank you.